Fantastic. Connor, can you like do the pinning thing, please? Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. That's it, spotlighting. I forgot what it was called. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our event tonight. We've got a bit of a poetry showcase for you. It should be really great fun. We've got some awesome performers coming up. So yeah, thanks for coming along to WinchesterFest. So tonight we have got a bit of running order for you. I am your host for the evening. I will be subjecting you to some of my poetry as well, so sorry about that. And then we will have wonderful words from the amazing Adelia Day, from Laura Kestrel and Jonathan Kinsman. So I hope you're all very excited for that. Yeah, I think that should be everything. So without further ado, you have to listen to me now, so have fun. So I'm actually I would say in the middle. I have started writing a book on a past relationship because we're poets and that's what we do. So I'm going to read you a piece that I wrote this morning, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called The Flat, and there's like a question mark just in case my intonation doesn't quite deliver that. But The Flat question mark. Think post-apocalyptic wasteland meets the crack den from train spotting. Think student houses if the students spent all day doing drugs and getting drunk, so think student houses. Think pigsty with party hats. Think unsheeted mattress and no chance of a bed frame. Think fag butts and ashtrays and beer cans. Think paper plates and plastic cups. Think spirit bottles and empty crates. Think frosty jacks from months back fermenting on the windowsill. Think 2 forks and a spoon. Think takeaway trays, maze-like in their placing. Think cramped space and days' faces unable to face the day. Think wayward strays and runaways. Think escape. Think home. Think flat. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. So we're doing about 10 minute slots each, so you will have to put up with me for a little bit more. So I'm going to do probably the first piece of spoken word that I ever performed. I'm going to try and remember it, so that should be fun. It's called Jack. Jack wakes up in a panic. He's manic. He convulses on the bed, his arms swinging in defensive maneuvers, struggling against violent illusions in the night. He's tired, exhausted. The nightmares had come again and laid their cold grip on his skin, and now he has to begin again to forget. His bed's soaked in sweat. His head is pounding and drowning in the sounds he feels surrounding him, but there's only silence. He shakes his head and tries to dispel the blaring sirens and the flashing in the back of his eyes, but the light and sound won't quit. He reaches for the tabletop to his side and grabs a bottle empty of a bottle top and downs it. The sharp taste of cheap whiskey burns his throat and helps to dull the conflict in his head, if only for a moment. Taking a look around, he notices he's naked. The clothes he slept in were swept off in the night and thrown to the side. His white skin is bruised and bloodied, marked by the copper claws of the nightmare spawn trying to break through his form and escape. But the dead skin and red rings around his fingers tell a different story of blood and gore, but not from the paranormal, but more of an internal war. See, Jack's not sure what's real. He can't quite distinguish the line between fiction and fact. He sees it every morning like a crack running down his mirror, separating his heart from his head. But when he reaches out and tries to touch it, the green slithers of reflection withhold any consolation. The jagged glass pierces his skin and he bleeds. He bleeds the way his mum used to sing when she rocked him to sleep. He bleeds the ink from the love letter that he wrote to the girl who he gave his first kiss. He bleeds the tears that rushed from his face when she gave that first kiss away with a laugh. You can see it dripping down his palms and painting the floor in a mosaic of blood. Each panel, a scarlet red petal coming together to form a twisting flower, sprouting out from the ground and wrapping its vines around his legs, trapping him in this labyrinth. His head's not right. There's something twisted in the cables that's left him unable to think. He can't see the world like everyone else. In his head, it's a game, but the pieces don't match up and the board is aflame, and it doesn't fucking matter because everyone's cheating anyway. So there he stands in front of the mirror, with the ground slowly creeping up his legs and dragging him down, his weight teetering on the line of intrusive light refracting off the silver glass and turning the cuts and scars into gold. Around him, flowers are bursting out of the floor and cradling every inch of his skin in a massacre of colors. For a second, his body tenses and then relaxes into the aroma of spring. He takes one final look back towards the mirror and can no longer see himself. He has been encompassed in a coffin of life. Thank you. Okay. Cool, I've got a few more minutes. All right, I'm going to do one more. Perform this one at the Margate Bookie. Didn't mean to. That's not as bad as it sounds. I had to do another thing afterwards. After the first one, I was even vaguely prepared. It's called, actually, I don't think I have a name for it. It's untitled because apparently I'm pretentious. I'll just get on with it. Hi, she said. How's it going? Not great, actually. I guess ever since you left, I've started to feel a little less like me. I can't eat, and when I do manage to force something down, it tastes wrong. Grey, duller, like you took all the colours of the world with you when you walked away, and I know it's not fair of me to lay this all on you, but I miss the shaded blue of your eyes, the curved lines that carved your iris into an explosion of starlight. I'm okay, thanks. And you? She gives me one of those looks that lasts just a little too long for it to be real, but I'll take the scraps of make-believe love over the abscess created by her absence, and I'll go as far to thank her for it. Because the cavity she carved between my ribs is only as empty as the day she left me, and her love, whether genuine or not, helps to remove the clots and let the blood flow through my veins, taking the edge away from the ebbing pain she caused. To her, I am not the sea. To her, I am the waves that come crashing down upon the shore, and I will never be enough. But sometimes, when she's feeling low and lonely, it's good to know that the waves will still break, as I am still broken. Not enough to swim, but enough for her to paddle. To her, I am the shallow waters caught in the tide she cast from her moonlight complexion. I miss you, she says. And maybe she believes it too, but I am a ghost of what I was before. In her, I see all the things that I love, and in me, she sees all the things I love in her. In those eyes, I am nothing more than a vanity mirror, but behind her self-projection, I am standing alone, wrecked and wretched, waiting for the right time to move on. And then I go ahead and say something stupid like, I miss you too. And it's not stupid because it's not true. It's stupid because she already knows, and the only one of us affected by this declaration is me. And I really don't need to remind myself that without her, I am barely treading water. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, your microphone is still off. Woo! Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. So next up we have. Oh, I've just lost the list. I do apologise, everybody. Next up we have Adalia. Adalia Day. Adalia is a poet, animator, and theatre maker based in Norwich. Their two shows, Too Pretty to Punch and Super Hamlet 64, are available to download online at gumroad.com. So go and take a look out for those. And can we give a big hand to Adalia Day? Thank you, Connor.
Woo!
Woo!
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Adalia. These are my shows. They're probably like reversed because of cameras, but that's just a coincidence. Yeah, I'm going to do some poems. So the first one I'm going to do is from Super Hamlet 64, and it's called Video Game Violence. It's a well-known fact that video games cause people to be violent. History is littered with killing sprees. So many massacres could have been avoided had Miyamoto never invented the Wii. When Abraham Lincoln was shot at the theatre, the Pistolier practiced on Duke Nukem 3D, and on the grassy knoll at JFK's death, they found an original copy of Abe's Odyssey. How many lives could have been saved had the Game Boy not come out in feudal Japan, or had Jack the Ripper not had access to an emulated copy of Shadow Man? The Mafia are well-known Candy Crush fiends. Farmville was popular in World War II when football hooligans are not nearly so mean when they're not playing Katamari Desu. Napoleon would surely have been found blown apart if the Duke of Wellington had played Skyrim as a child instead of Guess Who. If my demeanour sounds ridiculous, the amount of Super Punch-Out arcade machines in the 80s with fist holes through the windows should be evidence enough. I used to think, perhaps like some of you, people are violent because we teach kids to suppress all emotions except for rage. But then one day in 1992, I died 405 times in a row on the Turbo Tunnel stage of Battletoads, and I got so irate, I wrote a really angry tweet about it. 14 years later, at Rare Limited, hashtag not to be. I'm sorry for all the violence you've had to see. Thank you very much.
Woo! Yeah.
Cheers. So for my next poem, I'm going to do a new poem called What Do You Think? And this is about, similarly on a relationship theme, carrying on a theme from the previous performer. This is all about all of my past relationships. And I'm thinking of putting this on my dating profile once I'm done. Reading what you think you ought to read, liking what you think you ought to like. Will she like me if I read this book? Will he like me if I learn to ride? Your poetry. Sing it to me, say it softly, shout it louder than you ever thought you could. Either way, it won't be understood, but other people like it, so it must be good. Watching what you think you ought to watch, doing what you think you ought to do. Will they like me if I'm up to date with every show? Will you like me if I act like you? Ooh, that diamond ring, that could be my thing. Marriage? No, I'll cook. We'll do that game you like to do. I'll honestly do anything for you. Just please don't say that you and I are through. Saying what you think you ought to say, dressing how you think you ought to act. Will he like me if I don't agree? What if I don't know how to react? You want me to do what? No. No, then you and I are through. I draw the line there. No. You want me to tell you what I want to do. You want me to tell you what I need from you? I need? Honestly, I'm fine. I love your taste in food. Your music is sublime. I'm fine with what you choose. I want you to be happy. Tell me what to do. I'm fine with all the things that get you in the mood. I'm fine with arguments about the colour blue. I'm fine with never seeing from my point of view, how everything's taboo unless it comes from you, and anything I say must be untrue. I'm fine with pubic hair littering the loo, leaving lids of bottles of shampoo, dishes left undone, your snide remarks. You think I'm too naive to understand? You've always got to have the upper hand. I'm fine with needing peace and quiet, but I'm never left alone, am I? Needing conversation instead of bickering all the time, wanting just for once for you to understand the difference between Netflix and chill and wined and dined. But I'm fine. You ask me to remember how to feel. You ask me to remember the word stop. Doing what I really want to do. Listening to what my body needs. Do I even want to be with you? Thank you.
Hey! Woo!
Nice, thanks very much. So the next piece I'm going to do is one of my favourite pieces. It's relatively new compared to my stuff. I don't have loads of poems, but yeah, this is called Figs or Twigs. and is about that frustrating process when you're at work and like in a meeting and people are discussing stuff and it's inconsequential, but they will discuss it till the cows come home. And I was really frustrated one time when this happened, so I wrote this poem about it. Figs or twigs? Well, figs do taste good. But twigs are better for building a house. Yeah. They don't taste as good though, do they? We could go for figs. I hear what you're saying. I do. I just think that in this instance, twigs would be better. Yeah, the trouble with twigs is, well, they're not really figs, are they? And would you actually want to build a house out of twigs? Not if you're a pig. We could go for figs. I hear what you're saying. I do. I just think that in this instance, Friday night and the air is thick. 4 hours choosing figs or twigs. Nick loves twiglets. Peter hates sticks. Karen likes apricots. Sam pudding pie. Figgy sugar sweetness. Reuben sighs. I want a tree trunk. Lenny too, but Luke likes fruit and so does Sue. Alice and Carrie are sitting on the fence. Ethel wants bread. Nick relents. They settle on turnips. Then off to bed. Monday morning, Sue is yawning, everyone happy and ready for a trudge. Topics and scheming, what to choice now? Isn't it grumble? Can't think sideways, must humble. Thought it through. Swede won't do, says Karen. 8 hours choosing figs or twigs, 9 hours, 25 figs. But how big? 17 figs won't fit in a bucket. Twigs or figs, but 29 feet of twig won't cut it. 12 days choosing figs or twigs, coming up to Christmas. Holiday fig tree, attitude's getting cold. Would you like a fig roll? Secret meeting on the phone, keep it on the down low, argue on the way home, getting buried in the snow. Does it matter? Yes, it matters. Does it matter? Yes, it matters. Surely we are better than this. Where did the days go? Where did our lives go? What has become of us? Can't we have both? Seven weeks choosing figs or twigs, almost settled it. Figs, no, twigs, no. 8 weeks choosing figs or twigs. Ethel is a guinea pig. Spice figs, twig wigs. 9 months choosing figs or twigs, running out of time for business planning. Need more funding. Hedge fund, fig tree, fig leaf, brittleback choosing. No thanks. 10 years choosing figs or twigs. Karen has a heart attack. Figs. In loving memory. Twigs. Thank you. Cool. So thank you very much. So I've got I'm timing myself for like one poem, a short one more.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to do one from Too Pretty to Punch, which is my other show, which is all about gender in the media. So just to quickly plug again, my shows are available on gumroad.com. My name is Adalia Day. I also have books available from my shows on Etsy. So this is my poem. It's called Toys. Girl, blouse. Boy, shirt. She, purse. Man, wallet. Lady, oven. Boy, scooter. She, glitter. He, computer. Her, necklace. He, pocket. Pretty bride, hench, dude. Dad, jokes. Girl, shops. How many words until we stop wanting to give each random thing a he or she identifier? Razors, wallets, shops and clothes, shoes, hair care chemicals. Why should a toy be he or she unless you operate it with your genitals? Thank you very much.
Woo! Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for coming along. That was brilliant. Loved it.
Cheers.
Awesome. Connor, can you throw me back on for a moment, please? Oh, there we go. Thank you. That's just my face now. Have fun with that. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you very, very much. That was wonderful. I just loved it. It was great. Let's keep this going. So next up, we have Laura Kestrel, an international slam poetry champion, multilingual LGBTQIA+ writer, workshop facilitator, producer, and artist. So just an all-round creative genius. Host of Arthena. We have Laura Kestrel. Thank you very much. Connor, can you do the thing in the bowl?
Woo!
There we go. Thank you.
Okay. Firstly, a massive thank you to WinchesterFest for having me and to Whisky Beards. I'm going to read 4 poems tonight. The first one I'm going to read from my first collection, Lambs with Manes of Lions. It's available on Amazon by Whisky Beards. And this is Memos to My 20-something Self. You will still wear brightly coloured shirts and every pattern under the sun, but you will be proud of your eclectic collection. You will still ignore paperwork sometimes in favour of a paintbrush, but you now know that sometimes that's needed. You will still change and grow, no matter that you've been adding that extra 0.5 of an inch onto 5'7" for as long as you can remember. You will still be learning to love yourself, but you will feel warmth in your ribcage instead of hunger. You will be a voice to be reckoned with, no matter how far you travel, for you are as strong as that quadruple gin and tonic you had last week, because you are friends with the bar staff. You will do the things you need for you, facing old habits with new determination, flicking your finger with the same velocity as the ash. The ghost of your former self firmly in the shadows, left there fading as you grow stronger, a temple of sea glass.
Thank you.
So that was Memos to My 20-something Self. And now I'm going to read 2 new poems, which I wrote. I had the great opportunity to be at an Arvon writing retreat in March, just before Spain went into lockdown. And it was sponsored by Apples and Snakes, and I got to represent the Southwest, and it was amazing. I couldn't have afforded to go otherwise. And I'm going to read 2 poems that I wrote during the retreat. So this is Crows. Rain patterns adorn frosted glass, clawing at the globules hungrily. I see him, crow, lone crow, wearing a coat of licorice pinwheels and clunky Clark school shoes. He puffs his chest. Triangles from geometry equations crossing at intersections. He waits. Crow becomes crows, no longer lone crow, so familiar, but yet they are strangers. Maybe that's why they are strangers. Feathers wet with raindrops which feel like velvet, velvet tank tops, sleek lycra and silicious leg warmers. Their eyes meet. Acknowledgement. Their existence a forced partnership between admiration and resentment. Helicopter blades splicing the air, rapid flutters of rivalry disguised as natural order. It wasn't always this way. Or maybe it was. Maybe it had always been this way. Crows, fighting over calls for affection and misplaced family dynamics. The rain gave way to frosted glass and conversations. Conversations with pauses which lasted years. Skeleton letters detailing weddings, a birth, a graduation, social milestones deemed important enough to mention. Nothing except snapshot calendars and a meeting deciding where to bury her. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I don't have any poems about breakups, but I was like, I can't do a set without a sad poem. So here's your sad poem for today. It's called Yellow Brushstrokes. The bone was porous and unforgiving. Why did you let this happen again? It said, splintering the membrane surrounding it like the knife did during the cesarean, giving you the breath into your lungs to make sound. The corridors were silent. They were thinking of what to say, avoiding cliche or over-explaining. How did it happen? They asked. Memory flicked through memory, what not to say, what had already been said. The bone was porous and unforgiving as it sat waiting, again waiting, waiting for change that never came. Beasts were in fairy books, on yellow paper tinged with age, yellow teeth too. Their razor claws softly stroked like paintbrushes, dancing on a canvas of skin, their weight majestic. Their body had a way of carrying itself, their nails softly stroked like paintbrushes, anonymous artist. And then it came, an excuse which lends itself to my riding boots. There was an accident, just an accident, I promise. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. And my last one is from my new collection, which is also by Whisky Beards. It'd be kind of weird if it wasn't. It's called Turnstiles and Turnaround Smiles, and it's also on Amazon, but I don't have a copy with me in Spain, so it's from a notebook, sorry. And this is Spreading the Dirty Word. You can call me a loud one, proud one. You could say I'm a wise one too. Eyes on, smiling, but word daggers in my pocket, you know, just in case. No prizes for guessing then that, yes, I'm into feminism, the dirty word on everyone's lips, and as luck would have it, I'm pretty damn versed on the subject. I know it's hard to understand sometimes that words with femme aren't always a sign of vaginas. I guess the silver lining or panty liner here is the brilliant news. In case you haven't already heard, it's a word affecting the entire world's herd, because for me, for you, feminism is everywhere, as ever present as the air we breathe, and there's something you should know. I'm an intersexual feminist, a non-directional existentialist, non-confrontational unless necessary individualist, fed up with social media being sensationalist. My feminism does not discriminate. It disregards hate and instead spreads love. It doesn't care if you're cis or trans, identify as a man, non-binary, or a miss. In all your flawless finery, you are valid and valued. My feminism does not discriminate. It doesn't care about your race, your ace, whatever the colour of your skin, the hammock which you cradle your beautiful bones in. Let it be sewn into all your clothes. You are valid and valued. My feminism does not discriminate. It doesn't care about your age or size. Behind your eyes lies worth and wonder, no matter if average, above or under. Your marvellous body will always be your shelter. You are valid and valued. My feminism does not discriminate. It doesn't care about what car you drive, and by that I mean sexual preference. It won't use your sexuality as a reference point to anoint you with apathy, oddity, or hate. You are valid and valued. My feminism does not discriminate. It doesn't care where you choose to worship or if you choose no religion at all. After all, your own body is your own altar. Never falter in bodily autonomy. We should all have freedom of choice, respect, and dignity. My feminism does not discriminate. It's built upon inclusivity, throws its open arms around diversity, aspires for equality for all who aspirate. For we are not equal until we are all equal, and we are all valid and valuable. Unmalleable, it will scream for as long as it takes to make promises in the womb last into adulthood. Does good until the support for superiority breaks and inequality becomes nothing more than an ignorant past mistake. My feminism is intersectional, profits only from egalitarianism, full of empowerment and humanism. And if you still say feminism is a dirty word, well, then I guess it's because you're full of shit. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Oh, you are all in for a treat. This has been fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's give it up again for Laura Kessler. I'm going to assume you're all clapping at home. That was wonderful, thank you. And to carry that on, next up, as your final act of the evening, we have Jonathan Kinsman, trans poet from Manchester. He won the IDP Pamphlet Prize in 2017 and witnessed his book. Is that right? Yeah? Fantastic, thank you. Comes out with Burning Eye later this year. So that will be a must-have. So give it up for Jonathan Kinsman. Honor.
Hi, everyone. Cool. Being falls out of the sky, in this case, you, silvered, mistaken in binoculars by amateur astronomers for a passing comet. At distance, this light is everything that may be seen, body burning up on re-entry, meat sloughing off the bones. You were warned. Immolation is an awful death. As yet, you are more than the inevitable crater, a carbonic soot stain of I am. Embrace terminal velocity. Enjoy it. While they were up the mountain hiding from God, You wrote your name on the moon in rocket fuel. That poem was from my I'm loving the delay while everybody claps.
You've got to unmute
Thank you.
it, don't you? It's a nightmare.
That poem was from my debut pamphlet, Ampersand, which you can get on my website, my Big Cartel. So that's jonathankinsman.bigcartel.com. Cool. I'm going to do some from my pamphlet that's coming out. It was actually meant to come out tomorrow, but it's got like pushback. So May, I guess. I don't know. That pamphlet is all about rewriting the apostles as modern people. So I wanted to do this one because it's Holy Week. It's Maundy Thursday as we speak. So this is Mary Magdalene. At the burial, they discover you sing Ave Verum just as sweet as Joy Division. Voice wishing for resurrection like a sudden apparition of birds, like forgiveness, like baby's breath grown among the gravestones and digitalis. Andrew's hand strokes over the swell of your belly. Who sired the bastard babe to be? They catcall in the streets. But before all else, this child is yours. Even God's Son raised him higher than he could have been before. Whore. When they speak of broken things, they speak of Japanese pottery, grounded doves, hearts, never the creak of a bedroom door, bruises worn like pearls, everything you have shoved in an overnight bag. Wicked woman, witch, curse, possessed, lain with the devil, temptation in a too short skirt. But what of wicked fathers, wicked husbands? You were dark-eyed and drunken, yelling your sins from the top of your lungs, divorced and dancing under God's gaze. He might have played the guitar, but you, bravest among them, banged the drum, and now, alone in the gardens, always earthly delight, prayers to heaven, paradise, first wild, now withered. Falling is such a heady scent. You light another cigarette. Shed eyeliner, tears for happy endings, saviors, and the girl worth saving. He promised these things weren't your fault, but it doesn't feel like it. He promised. Woman, why are you weeping? Whom do you seek? You kiss his cheeks, his temples, press your face into his neck, run your fingers through his hair, earth in every fold. Don't be surprised. It was you who taught me how to rise from the pit they dug for me. Cheers.
Woo! Yeah! Woo!
Thank you. To anybody wondering about this plaster, I have a massive spot and I couldn't be bothered doing makeup, so yeah, now I look like a boxer, I guess. This one is John from the same pamphlet. In the night, his body is warm as any man's. You place your ear to his chest, listening for thunder, for bird song, for a newborn screaming, and hear only his heart beating, slow, soft breath. It's so easy to love him like this. Fingers and mouth, voice and vision present beside you. But this morning you watched Lazarus climb out of the earth, beloved, all rotten spasms, beloved, color seeping back into his skin, beloved, because his God commands it, this God here in the bed. And there's something in his eyes already broken, like time stretched taut and snapped. If you ask me to die for you, I'll do it. If I ask you to survive for me, Could you do it? In the next room, Lazarus sits so violently awake, so unfamiliar, like he left the man in his grave. How foolish it seems to pray, and yet still you whisper, "Don't ask me to, God, don't ask me to." Thank you. Okay, so from the sublime to the ridiculous, I'm going to finish with a couple of more recent pieces. I've been writing a lot of poems about kind of kinky sex. I don't know why. So this is one of those. It's called Elegy for a Broken Condom. Sunday morning, 3 of us make this pilgrimage. Watch you configure the if-then of our genitals like a puzzle box full of spunk. Oh, till operator, who forgives all with $15.99, I commend to you this fallen latex. I know my lines. In your privacy room, my Catholic ancestors betray me when I pray, "Thank you, Lord, for making my pussy vice-like and bizarrely angled. With pill on my tongue, take the proffered cup to cleanse my gums. Temple of medicine, I beg miracles. I bring you boys with heart conditions, philosophers and statisticians, men who pay, who buy extra safe, who fuck like the charge of the Light Brigade. Pharmacist, forgive us our pleasure. Politician, lead us not into legislation. GP, deliver us from fetus. Cross my fingers, hold my breath. I've read the booklet. When science doesn't know, it makes a guess. Thank you. I'm gonna finish with this one, if I can find it. It's about music and also about queerness and also about the weird things my mum would have in the CD player on the way to church when I was little. So this is called Don't Leave Me This Way. There's a place at the bottom of my mother's lungs for the communards cover, a belt, a shriek, a hallelujah over those high notes, the steering wheel, her dance partner as she sings, her mouth so wide open, I think her soul might fall out. When I tell her her taste in music is pretty gay, she thinks a moment, then says, "I guess you're right." In my dad's car, the CD player's jam full of Stooges, Sex Pistols, Bunnymen, but I remember timing the ride to church in tracks of Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. At 6 years old, Holly Johnson's cackle rocking my baby queer bones, an earthquake caught on record. At that age, when I pictured dancers, I left out the thinness, how their clothes ate them up. Everyone looks pallid under neon lights. Everyone shakes like the spirits entered them in those disco cathedrals. Eats of the body, loves, loves, loves. Screams out their hymn. Don't leave me this way. Don't leave me this way. Don't leave me this way. Thank you.
That was absolutely fantastic. And I think "Who Fuck Like the Charge of the Light Brigade" may be my favourite line of poetry I've ever heard in my life. That was brilliant. I love it. I praying that Tennyson is rolling in his grave because he fucking should, dirty old white bastards. That was fantastic. Thank you very much. This has been a wonderful evening of poetry. So can we, again, I can't see anyone at home, but I'm just going to assume it. Can everyone give a big clap to Adalia, Laura, and Jonathan?
And Sam! Woo!
Thank you very much. Thanks for that. I'm sure we can get the links to all your various stuff in the comments so that we can make sure that's shared around. If not, I am going to get told off by Connor afterwards, but we will see about that. It's been fantastic. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for there's a whole load of other stuff. You can come and see me waffle on for half an hour if you really want to, but I wouldn't know why. But yes, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to our wonderful performers for this evening. You have been fantastic. And with that, we will bid you adieu. Lovely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.